It was certainly been a day, I would say an emotionally difficult day to see the places where people were murdered. I just did a talk with the Prime Minister, and I think obviously there are three things that need to happen in the Gaza situation. I mean, there's no choice but to kill those who insist on murdering civilians. There's no choice. They're not going to change their mind. And then the second thing is to change the education so that a new generation of murderers is not trained to be murderers.
Just a few days ago, Elon Musk was tweeting on X, where you tweet stuff, anti-Semitic stuff. He endorsed an absurd anti-Semitic tweet and visits Israel in response to the backlash and advertisers dropping him. Kind of weird to be anti-Semitic one day and then go right to Israel and be very sympathetic. Maybe you're afraid of being dropped. But one visit to Israel, a visit to just one of the kibbutz where people were slaughtered in the horrible Hamas terrorist attack on October 7th, followed by him watching the horrific video of the attacks posted by the attackers. And he is saying exactly what I have been saying, and what so many who have the ability to reason have been saying about the very basic fact of this conflict.
I mean, there's no choice but to kill those who insist on murdering civilians. There's no choice.
People who are hell-bent on killing innocent civilians must be killed. People whose goal is to kill innocent civilians, people who think that's okay to do as a means of resistance, have to be taken out because, as Elon Musk also said in that clip, they're not going to change their mind. And so the people who are subjected to the terrorism will be at risk of murder at all times. And so all that Israel needs for peace is a partner for it. And it shouldn't take a scallop-shaped CEO of far too many companies to tell you that, for you to understand it. I mean, does it? Apparently it does. So why don't you listen to a little bit more of what Elon Musk just said after his visit to Israel.
It was jarring to see the scene of the massacre, or one of the scenes of the massacres, as well as to see the short film afterwards that showed more of innocent people getting killed. It was troubling in that movie, especially to see the joy experienced by the people that were killing innocent civilians, including kids and babies and defenseless people, essentially. So, it's one thing if civilians die accidentally. But if it's another thing to revel in the joy of killing civilians, that's not, that's frankly, that's evil. I mean, the rebuttal is often made that, Israel has killed civilians, also in Gaza. But there is an important difference here, which is that Israel tries to avoid killing civilians, doing everything it can to avoid killing civilians, and there's not sort of joy expressed.
Yep, 100%, every word of that. Wow, I'm agreeing with what Elon Musk is saying now. Perhaps you should listen to the great logic in what he just said and get on board with basic morality. The only emotional argument, and argument that I think people believe comes from their own common sense, logic, and reason, people come at me with since this war has started, is saying that somehow people with my position take joy in the death of innocent people, or God forbid the death of innocent babies in Gaza. It's literally the saddest, most scary, tragic, horrible thing possible. And that's exactly why Hamas needs to be removed, plain and simple. It's very simple, really, in the end, the core of it. No people can ever be expected to accept terrorists at their border coming into their homes and killing them, or dropping suicide bombs and missiles at their homeland and at their people constantly, forever, without getting rid of that force. And when that happens, the way to attempt to get rid of that force sadly involves the death of innocent civilians, as war always has. And if you truly are somebody yourself that does not want innocent people and innocent babies to lose their lives, you have to be in support of removing Hamas from power so this ends once and for all and peace can be found. It's that simple. You should be for hashtag Free Palestine, from Hamas, and then also hold Israel to account to make sure it reduces wherever possible the death of innocent people, and it is as strategic and tactical as possible when taking out the evil terrorists. And there, both sides can agree. Both sides can get the future that they want. A swift end to this war. Demand that Hamas surrender if you want a solution with even less death than that. And if they won't surrender, they will be taken out. They will be neutralized so that peace can be found. Not for any other reason, just for peace and safety and a future where both groups of people can live side by side. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. Follow me at Ben Gleib on Instagram for lots more content.